Happy Tuesday. What does that mean? So Tuesday is Technique Tuesday, and it's our first one of the new year. So Happy New Year to whoever I didn't get to see on my live on Friday. I am using my new program, so if you didn't tune in on Friday to to my FB Live, you can definitely check out the replay. But I am using this new program, so you guys actually will get to see me now, which is super awesome. And I'll get to see your comments rolling up, so which is great. So I thought, because today the new catalog kicked off, so if you haven't checked it out already, make sure you head over to my blog, click on Shop Now, and check out the new catalog. But I thought, because the new catalog came live today, I would kind of show you guys a new product that's in the catalog that you might not be familiar with or know how to use. It's called Gilded Leafing. So this is what it looks like here. It comes in this fairly large jar. It's really light, and there's a lot in here. So a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. But I just thought I'd show you how to use this with the heat and stick embossing powder. And how to make these cute little cards here. So I'll just show you what the cards look like. So here they are here. This is using the new Fine Art Floral Suite collection. So I'll just kind of show you, now I can actually show you the inside of the catalog. So I'll show you what this looks like. So it's on page 32 and 33 here. So this is the suite. You've got a bundle which includes your stamp set and dies, specialty DSP, an embossing folder, your gilded leafing I'm going to show you today, some gorgeous ribbon that we're also going to be using today, and this heat and stick emboss powder. So it's all on page 33. The entire suite is only $139.25, so it's a pretty good deal for an entire suite like this, especially when you're getting 2 packs of paper. So let's just get going, I guess. I'm just going to set my catalog aside. So these are the 2 cards that I made previously. This is the one I'm going to show you today how to make, and if you can see the gold leafing, I've put on the flower there. So it's kind of got this like shimmer. It's a little bit different than your embossing powder, but I'll show you how to use that. Okay. You may have noticed, if you didn't tune in on Friday and you're not familiar with my new layout, at the bottom of the screen is a little ticker tape. So you've got my blog web addresses down there. And if you're interested in placing an order, head over to my blog, click on Shop Now, and make sure you use the January hostess code listed at the bottom there, ZVJTU9CS. If you are placing an order under $200, for everybody that uses that hostess code for the month of January, I will be doing a draw for some free product. So that's exciting. Alright, so here's the stamp set we're going to be using. So I'll just hold that up so you guys can get a better look at it. So it's got some very artistic type flowers, which I think is why it's called Art Gallery. And then these are the dies. So I've already picked out a couple that we're going to be using for the card. So I'll just set those aside here. And then here's the other ones. This big one right here actually is super cute. It cuts out a little saying for you. Let me just see if I can get it out and show it. Oh, it's really stuck down there. I haven't peeled it off yet, obviously. I just got it yesterday. So this is, it says just, what does it say? Just want to say. So it cuts out the whole thing for you. Isn't that cute? Alright, so let me just see here. Hi Gail, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're liking the new layout and program I'm using. You guys can actually see my face while I'm stamping. Alright, so let's start on our card. So again, we're going to be making this one if you're just tuning in, and I'm going to be showing you how to use the new gilded leafing to add it to this cute little flower here. Okay, so the supplies you're going to need. So you're going to want a card base. So I'm using a Mossy Meadow card base. This one measures 4 1/4 inch by 11 inches, and it's scored at 5.5 inches. You're going to need a piece of DSP, so I am using the DSP from the Fine Art Floral Suite. This measures 4 inches by 5¼ inches. And then you're going to need a piece of Whisper White or Basic White cardstock for the inside of your card, because our Mossy Meadow is a pretty dark cardstock. So this way, when you write your cute little saying, you can see it easily. So you want a piece of white cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5¼ inch. Okay, so that'll be for the inside of your card. And then you're going to want, so I've got a piece of So Saffron cardstock, and that's just because it matches the DSB that I've picked out. This measures 2½ inches by 3½ inches. And then you're going to need a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This one measures 2 inches by 3 inches. And then you're going to need a little bit of ribbon. So this is our new ribbon. I'll hold it up for you. It's like this gold ribbon that goes with the suite, so it's super pretty and shiny. And then you'll just need some scrap pieces of paper, so that's what I've got here. Alright, so to start, I'm going to take my DSB and I'm going to flip it over. And let me get my stamp and seal here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on both sides of my DSB. Get it going a little bit here. Sometimes I struggle with our new stamp and seal. And then roughly in the middle, I'm going to put my ribbon here, stick it to the adhesive I just put down, and flip it, and then stick it on the other side. This way it kind of looks like it's tied around your card, but you're saving ribbon. Because I'm cheap, I like to save my ribbon. So then I'm going to flip it back over and just add adhesive all over the back of this DSB. Just like that. Okay, then I'm going to stick it to my card base. Just like so. Okay, so then I'm going to set that aside. Let's start with our actual stamping, and I'll show you how to use the Gilded leafing. So I'm just going to get out my rubber mat just to keep my workspace clean. You also get clearer images when you stamp on the rubber mat, so that's just a hint that you might want to use it. And I'm going to get out this large flower here and some Mary Merlot ink. Just ink up my stamp and put it right about there. Just like so. Now I'm just going to get my Simply Chamois and clean off my stamp. And put it away because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to get out my, so this is kind of, it's the same large flower, but it's just like the detail on the flower, I guess. So we'll go just like that. Now I want to make sure my Mary Merlot ink is dry, because I'm going to be putting this heat and stick emboss powder on top of it, and I don't want it to stick to the Mary Merlot ink. I only want it to stick to the image I stamp with this one. So I'm just going to get out my heat emboss tool and just dry it off a little bit. There we go. Just like that. Make sure it's dry. I've also got my little embossing buddy. We unfortunately don't sell these anymore, so if you see one, grab it, or if you've got one, you're very lucky. You could probably also make one of these. It's just kind of like a little pillow filled with, I think it's chalk, and it's just to make surfaces so that they're not sticky. So I'm just going to put that over the ink as well. And now I'm going to get out my Versamark. So it's the same thing you would do like with normal embossing powder, except this ink powder is sticky, and it actually has a smell to it. It kind of smells like glue. It's not odorless. Alright, so I'm just going to make sure I got enough Versamark on there, and I'm going to line up my two images. Oh, just like so. Okay, set that aside for now. Cover up my Versamark. And now I'm just going to sprinkle over. So again, it's just like your embossing powder, except this stuff will end up being sticky. So I'm just going to cover the whole image and then knock the excess back into the little jar. What I always do too is I shake it to get the excess off. And a little blow. Okay. I'll shake off my mat because I made a mess. And close that up. And then again, just like embossing powder, you're just gonna use your heat tool to heat it up. So it's kind of white right now, and you'll know it's done. See how it goes clear and you don't see it anymore. Okay, just like that. And then you're going to get your gilded leafing. Now this stuff is really light, and if you blow into it, it's going to go everywhere, so be very careful with it. If you can see, it's very flimsy stuff. But I'm just going to take a few pieces, and anywhere there is some stick or heat and stick powder, I'm just going to put my gilded leafing down. So, and this, I'm going to tell you right now, this is messy stuff. I have gold leafing all over my craft room right now. It's all over the floor. I'm going to have to vacuum later. It just floats with every little breeze. Oh, that's a nice big piece. Okay. So I'm just sticking it wherever this heat and stick powder is. And don't worry, I know you can barely see my image right now. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. So just give me a second while I finish covering all this. Okay, try and scoop up some of the extras. Okay. Now, this is like a super old makeup brush that I don't use anymore, and this is now my gilded leafing brush because it's just got gold flakes in it everywhere. You can use a brush like this, or even a sponge will work, but then you'll just go over, and I just like going in a little circular motion here, and it'll remove the gold leafing from wherever the heat and stick powder isn't. To see how there's a mess, so you can see the huge mess here. And it'll just kind of clear it up. So, just go over it, just like that. Okay. So there you go. So that's how you use it. Hopefully you guys can see that okay in the camera. It is messy stuff. I'm not gonna lie. So it's kind of all over my desk already. Some of these bigger pieces I'm going to try and save because, like I said earlier, I'm cheap. I'm going to close it up before I make any more of a mess. And what I've actually discovered, so let me just get baby wipes. Pick up this gilded leafing really well to clean your space. So I'm just going to get a baby wipe, clean my brush off, so that I don't get it all over my craft room, because I know what's going to happen anyway, but if we can prevent some of it. A nice thing about this rubber mat too is if it gets really dirty, you can just throw it in the dishwasher, run it under some water and soap, hot water with soap, and that's why I like using it when I'm stamping. It makes it easy to clean up. Okay, so I got more stamping to do, so I'm going to flip this over so I have a dry side. And I'm going to stamp, so this piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures 2 inches by 3 inches, I'm going to stamp the stem on it. So I'm just going to clean, I never cleaned off the Versa marking from here, so I'm just going to clean that off. And put it away, and we're going to get out the leaves. So there's this cute little, I don't know if you can see, it's like a stem with 2 leaves on it. And I'm going to use some Mossy Meadow ink. And I'm going to stamp this onto my little piece of Whisper White cardstock. Just like so. Put my ink away before I get my card in it. And then I'm going to clean this off. I do recommend whenever possible to make sure that you clean off your stamps to prevent staining, as well as put your ink pads away so that you don't accidentally dip your card into it, because I've done that a few times and it's just heartbreaking when you're almost done making your card. And then you ruin it with ink splotch. So, okay. So I'm gonna now take this little piece of So Saffron, and I'm gonna glue the Whisper White that we just stamped on onto that. I'm just gonna put a couple strips down the middle here. Perfect. And I'm just gonna kind of do it off center because I like it when things are kind of askew on my card. I think it adds a little something. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back here. So I've got some of our larger dimensionals. And I'm going to stick this to the front of my card. Again, I'm going to not do it straight because I like it when it's, my favorite word to use is cattywampus. So there's a new word of the day for you. It means askew. I am not making it up. Seriously, look it up. Cattywampus. Favorite word ever. I'm just going to put that in the middle of my card. So you can see how it's kind of nothing straight. And that's kind of what I like about it. Okay, so we've got to cut this out using our dies. So I'm going to show you guys our little, I believe I've showed this to you before, our little mini cut and emboss machine. Like, look at how cute this is. It's like the size of one of my hands. It's so adorable. And this has gone live today. So if you don't have an embossing machine, I highly recommend this one. It's so lightweight and portable. I love it. So I'm just going to get my plates out. And I don't know if you've seen our plates, but our plates have instructions on them. So this one here, it tells you to use 1 number 1 plate and 2 number 2 plates, which is what I have out here. And the numbers are right on them. So I love our new cut and emboss machines. They're just fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to cut out my flower. So I've got my die here for my dies. What I like to do to hold it in place is I just use a little piece of washi tape. Just like so. And I'm just going to run it through my machine. Do-do-do-do-do. Ugh. Sorry guys, I'm really shaking everything here. Okay, set that aside for now. Set that aside. And those aside. Okay, so now I've got my cute little flower cut out, and I'm gonna attach him with some dimensionals as well. Or her, I guess. I don't know, I always call it a him, but it could be a female flower. Okay. Just gonna put that down there, and I'm gonna add some of these gilded gems that are in the annual catalog, and I thought with the gilded leafing and the gilded gems they would kind of go well together. So I'm just gonna use my take your pick tool, and I'm gonna put a couple down here, and we'll put a big one up here, just like that. And now for this inside piece, I'm gonna put that on the inside so that when I write my little greeting to whoever this card is going to go to, they're able to see what I have to say. So I'm just using my stamp and seal for the inside. Like that. Oh gosh, I got gilded leafing everywhere. What a mess. Okay. And it needs a greeting. So I've got my other piece of scrap here, and I picked out this little thank you greeting. And I'll just use some Memento ink for this one. Stamp on my rubber mat. Just like so. Clean off my stamp. And then there's this cute little die. It kind of looks like, to cut out some of the sayings, it kind of looks like a little mini postage stamp or skinny postage stamp. So I'm going to use that to get my little mini emboss machine here and use my reuse my washi tape from the other one. So I'm just going to line this up where I want it and washi tape it down and just make my sandwich again. I do love this little mini cut and emboss machine. It's so lightweight, I can keep it right on my desk. And then it also doesn't take up my whole video when you guys get to watch, right? Because because I know the big one just takes up so much space sometimes. You do need it for some things, but for the little things, you don't. Okay, so throw that out there. All right. So there's, see, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like a little, it kind of looks like a, almost like a postage stamp, like a really skinny one. I really like these dies. They're super cute. I'm going to stick this one on with some mini dimensionals. And this is basically our last step. So, gilded leafing. What do you guys think? It's messy, but it's super pretty. And it adds a little something to the cards. And it's something new, right? Like sometimes you get bored of doing all the same things all the time. So there's my card. There's finished product. See if I can hold it so you guys can see. There you go. What do you think? Are you guys going to try the gilded leafing? Lots of fun. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Yeah, our first Technique Tuesday of the year. I hope you guys had a wonderful time, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. We'll see you Friday for Fancy Fold Friday. Have a great day, everybody. Happy stamping.